My name is Angel. I have a credit repair company, and I don't have that much background when it comes to real estate, but that's when I met you and Alexis, and that's when you guys were able to help me out.
And then since you had like, not really that much prior experience, like what made you think about doing Section 8, like as opposed to there's Airbnb,
hmm
there's pad splits, there's regular investing, there's fix and flips, there's new construction. You see all the stuff that's happening right now where we live.
Yeah.
Like what interested you in regards to Section 8 out of all those things?
If I'm being honest, it was because of Instagram feed. Like I was getting fed a lot of Section A, and I ran across a couple people, and then that's when across one of my friends, I met you, and I was like, oh, and then I was like looking at your Instagram, seeing how it was about, and then that's when I started doing research about Section A, and there's a lot of different things you can do when it comes to real estate investing, but that's what caught my attention.
So it's kind of just seeing it over and over and over. You're like, all right, like this is a sign. I gotta
Yeah,
put this up.
yeah, just repetitive seeing it, and then be like, oh, let me run the run the numbers with Xavier and see what it's about, if it's worth it.
And then for you, like I know you had mentioned you didn't really have that much like experience in regards to real estate investing like before. What do you think has been the biggest like needle mover for you? Would you say it's like with maybe the content you watch YouTube, or actually going and getting in the game and running it up? Because a lot of people think the more books I read, the more podcasts I listen to, I'll get more hands-on experience or learn more about it. Like what would you say was the main thing that's giving you the experience that you have now? 'Cause obviously now you own a property.
Well, the main experience was actually doing the work, like actually like knocking the task down by down, the ones task you would give me. So after that, I would be like, oh, understanding, or asking questions like, oh, why do I do this, or why do I do that, or why did I fill out this application and stuff like that. So that's where I ended up learning.
And then there's another elephant in the room because I always get asked this question. It kind of gets me annoyed. It's like, did you need to see this property? Because obviously we both live in California. We live hundreds, I mean, if not thousands of miles away from where these properties are. Did you need to see them to go and close or get the process started or move the ball forward in terms of actually buying?
No, bro, I didn't get to see it. I don't plan on going. I don't plan on going there
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
right.
Because there's so many people that have that as like a constraint in their mind. But the thing is, like,
Yeah,
who wants to go to Cleveland, bro? Like, I no disrespect to anybody that's in Cleveland. Like, who the hell was like, oh, let me wake up and boom, I want to go over there. So, I wanted to
yeah.
just clear that because I know that there's a lot of people that, um, have that, constraint in their mind in regards to doing it. Because right now, you have a full time job, you run the business, right? That you're with the credit report, consulting, business funding, all the above. How time consuming do you think it would have been if you tried to do all of this by yourself? Which is like finding the realtors, the brokers, property management, lenders, insurance, like everything alongside what you're doing right now.
Well, first of all, it would have taken forever because I didn't have like the proper tools. Or yes, like you said, I've watched podcasts, I've watched YouTube videos, I've uh, even actually paid for like mentorships from big Section 8 guys, and none of that. They just kind of like they don't give you like the full breakdown and blueprint, the blueprint that you give.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have taken me forever trying to understand like one thing, and then trying to understand another thing, and then finding uh, like in someone with insurance, finding someone, and then finding a mortgage lender that's like willing to do like being flexible and finding you the best deals and everything. So it would have taken me forever.
So I was wondering because I know that some people are like, oh, I don't think it would take me that long because obviously they haven't done it, so they don't know how long it would really take.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned obviously the other program that you were in. Like, what would you say was the key differences of obviously the experience that you had in that program, which is the people that are in Miami and the yachts and all this bullshit, versus someone that's obviously in the trenches with you. Like, what would you say is the biggest difference for your personal experience since you've had experience with both of them?
Well, the biggest difference is, well, yeah, like obviously the when it comes, I always knew that to learn or to invest, like you have to invest money into yourself to learn and grow. So that's what I did. I was like, so that's why I paid for a mentorship with someone else, not you guys. But when I paid for the mentorship, it was like way more expensive than whatever you even charge people. And then it came out to be that the blueprint wasn't even all there set. Like though I had questions and no one was there to like answer them. Like I kind of had to figure them on my own. So that's when I started thinking like, why did I even pay for this? Like I should just did it on my own.
So you feel like
But
by
then
the time
that's
that they gave you an answer, you were like, bro, this is not even a problem anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Or either not only a problem anymore, but it's not even relevant to even need a answer to it anymore. So,
No, yeah.
So you kind of felt like with other programs of bigger names and bigger influencers stuff, you kind of just felt like a number, no? Like you kind of felt like I'm just getting in. They're giving me some hypothetical stuff, and it's just like, you make it, you don't, but
Yeah,
it is what it is
they
type
kind
of
of
thing.
enforce like you depend on how you're gonna be successful, and I feel like with you it was kind of like more you're kind of telling me what to do exactly, and then explaining why, and then like going detail by detail why. So it was more better for me.
Makes sense. And then right now, we just had a discussion, or not discussion, but we were texting about it with Lender Mark and all the above about you buying in, California, pushing that needle. What kind of leaned you towards trying to let's work this out of state property first, and then you can make somewhere like California work? Because a lot of people try to do the reverse, or they only try to work California and then they end up just doing nothing. Like, what made you lean
Hmm.
towards, all right, let me go and get this done, and then now try to work for something that's an appreciation? Because California market, people say that it's not good. It's just a matter of them not being able to make it work. But what
Yeah,
was that initial or even breaking point to say, hey, I'm gonna make it work with what I have in this market and this switch?
yeah. Well, basically, it's just a fear of getting one house out of the way, and then once you get that cushion away, you're like, oh snap, I have to work harder, and then also the adrenaline rush that you get once getting a home and you close, and then you like settle down, you're like, oh, what's next? So that for me, that's like, oh, I want to get one in California now, and then
And I
that's when I was like, doesn't go away.
and I told you, I remember, I think I told you, I tell everybody, like, the accomplishment that seems so grounded in your mind and all the problems are obviously in your mind, but the second that you close on the property, you get to think, what's next? What's the next property? And
Yeah,
I was there with you when you told me, like, damn, like, I just want another one. You were signing.
yeah,
And then you obviously have the prior experience you had in the other program, you have our experience, and I don't want to talk about the program anymore, but besides the last thing I want to talk about is, like, how important to you was the response time and the availability response? Because, like, me, like, I'm answering my phone 24/7, doesn't matter, like, how fast it is. But, like, do you think that kind of gave you more of more confidence to say, oh, okay, like, this is tangible, like, I could feel this, like, this coming into
yeah.
fruition? Did that help out a lot, or was it more of, maybe other things?
Don't did help out a lot because a lot of the times when I was overthinking, like, oh, should I keep doing it? Like, I would receive a text like, oh, this task. So it didn't give me time to overthink it. Like, I was just giving task after task after task and knocking it down. So it kind of felt like milestones I was giving, like, oh, I'll finish this. I'm almost there. Or especially when I remember there was a time when it came to cash to close, there was like a week or two that we didn't text. But then you just came out like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. And that's when I'm like, oh, like I actually can do it and stuff like
The
that.
creativity. So then
Yeah.
how long would you say you had to wait for a response? Like, right, like, what was the longest you probably had to wait to get a text back? Like, you said, hey, oh, what about this? Is this? What was that? What would you say conservatively?
For Alexis, like 5 hours, but for
Oh yeah,
Xavier, like 2 min, like 2 minutes.
the Lexus like that's what the Lexus likes it, but see, and that's the one thing I want to touch upon, because a lot of people, like you mentioned, have that same philosophy where, fuck, I don't know if I could do this, and then the response time fuels it, it amplifies it, like, oh damn, maybe they don't even think I could do this. So that's
Oh
why
yeah,
I just want to touch upon that, so whoever's watching understand, like, the reason why we have this response time is, one, make sure the questions are asked, but two, make you feel more confident in the whole process, because there's the possibility of you feeling like, oh, you know what, I don't think this is tangible anymore, because the people that are supposed to push you forward and believe in you are not responding, and then you're like,
uh
fuck, I don't know if this is really gonna work. And then, with that being said, like, once you got these other needle movers done, like you were mentioning, you was at a task and it was just always flowing. Was there like one moment where you were like, oh, okay, like, this is it. Like, I got this shit. Obviously, there's adversity facing the deal, but was there ever like a we're good, we got this type of moment for you?
like when,
I chose the right people, boom, type of thing.
well, it was as soon as I got the subscription with you guys, because I've like I don't want to bring up other guys, but I've gotten other subscriptions, and this one had like a clear blueprint. Like literally, like after doing this one with like you guys helping me out, like I feel like I have enough. Like you guys give me your contacts, you guys give me the property manager contacts, you guys give me like all the videos that you have uploaded. Like literally, it's like very detailed, so like I could literally copy and paste, and I don't have to like this. Literally, I could do it on and on and on and on and on and on. So that's when I saw the
And that's the
blueprint, I was
goal,
like, oh
right?
snap,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And that's the goal, right? Is to help you get it done, and then make you be in a position where you say, hey, you know what? I have the skill sets, the contacts, the resources to go and do it again. without us, because obviously the student is a reflection of the teacher. If you weren't able to go and replicate it, or be in a position where you think that you're able to replicate it, it's just a matter of doing it, then what the fuck did I really do? You know what I'm saying? Is that something that's tangible for that? And then like obviously there's a whole different thing in regards to saying I want to do this versus actually going and say I did this. Did you feel like out of state investing or investing in real estate was a lot harder than it actually was? Like in your mind, did it feel a lot harder than it actually was? Like once you're banging out the task, you're like, damn, maybe this isn't as complicated and so fucking far fetched that I initially thought.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, when I started telling my close circle, like families and friends, that I was gonna invest outside, right away they were like, "Oh, where are you gonna invest outside? Or is it gonna take longer? Are you gonna go visit? Are you gonna go sign over there? Are you gonna this and that?" And then that's when in my head I was like, "Oh, I'm like no." And then, well, beginning I was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna have to like fly out there. Like if something goes wrong, I have to go fly out there." And then, or to even sign papers, like in my head I'm like, I don't want to fly out there. So as soon as I started knocking out task by task, and literally I was docu signing everything, I was signing everything virtually. I haven't even gone over there. I was like, dang, it was so much easier than I originally thought.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the adversity that we face, right, is not only a matter of physically doing the damn labor, signing documents, all the above, but the mental side of thinking, this is something that I've never done before. It's unknown territory. But then when you actually go and move the ball forward slowly, you realize that not that it wasn't a big accomplishment, because it is a very big accomplishment, but the tasks to go and move towards that accomplishment are not that crazy. It's just a matter of moving things around, having the right systems, and all the above. And then now that you have, the experience of obviously buying a property, you have the ownership, all the above, and you're
Mm.
23, right? So people understand, like 23 years old.
Yeah,
Okay,
23.
23 years old. Those people around you, right? Close friends, maybe similar age, maybe a little bit older. Like, how would you describe working with us to someone like that who has no idea? They don't know about signing documents on DocuSign. They don't know about, virtual walkthroughs with the realtor. They don't know about not needing to go over there. Like, what would you explain? Like, how would you explain it to them, and describe just the whole process of working with us, how we are as individuals, even though they never met us, they never worked with us, and they still think that it's something that's so grand and impossible to do.
To older people or younger people?
I would say to both. If you could say to maybe people that are around your age, younger, older, just people that maybe haven't met us and they still think that that buying out of state the way that you had initially said was so far fetched. To them, they thought that it
Yeah.
was a million other things than what it actually was.
Well, for older people, it'll probably be like they value more time. Like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. Like, I work a 9 to 5. I don't have time to fill out this or fill out that. But like, I was a pretty good example that I have a
Mm-hmm. No,
full
time.
time job and I have a credit repair and business funding business, and then obviously like I have a fiance and family that I have to keep up with every weekend. So I was able to knock out all the tasks you gave me with ease. Like I wasn't like overwhelmed or stressed about it. It was pretty easy. And then you guys have like a good system where you guys have like I think it was a client tracker. So like it
Mm-hmm.
goes list by list. What do you have to do next? And you have stuff to look forward to. And then like it's kind of, I don't know what it is, but like you feel good once you start accomplishing like little tasks and you're halfway there and you're seeing your progress go.
So the tangible aspect of telling them like, hey, look, there's processes in place to make it feel more tangible, to make you understand what you're actually doing, how much
Yeah.
closer you're actually getting, and setting every list in accordance with the schedule of, hey, you worked a 9 to 5. Okay, we're only going to give you 2 tasks, so it doesn't feel overwhelming, but at the same time you're actually getting things done. Because if you
Yeah.
like for you, like if you had 30 tasks dropped on you, you would say, fuck, I can't do this, or oh, I don't
Yeah.
have the time, or oh,
Yeah.
I have to focus on the business. But that's
Yeah.
kind of our philosophy. Is like if we give you 2 to 3 things, it's gonna feel more
Yeah.
tangible. It's also gonna feel like you're in a position where it's not that grand. And the third part is that when you knock out those 3, you gotta realize, oh shit, I actually am 10 steps away from actually closing, as opposed
Yeah.
to I gotta do 13 more things so I can close.
Yeah. And for the younger generation, a lot of the times they think like, oh, I don't have that much experience. I'm barely 19. I'm barely 20. I'm barely 21. Or I don't have that much money, this and that. Like uh, the tactics you guys give, or that I learned off of you guys, and obviously off of other people, like business funding, like 0% interest cards, like that stuff that no one teaches the younger
No one really
generations
teaches.
to make it seem impossible. Like me, I have a little siblings that now I'm gonna teach them, but no one else has like someone telling them that they don't really have to be using their money to get inside a house. Like they could be using the bank's money or leveraging with credit and everything.
That is facts though, because that's stuff that's unconventional. It's not really taught. Obviously, it's not taught in school. It's not something that's gonna just come to you by accident, right? And then third, you're in a position where every generation is playing a part, right? You're playing the generational part of, hey, I'm gonna go and be the first to go do X, Y, Z. I'll relay to you. Now you guys are gonna play your part. Because
Yeah,
it takes balls, bro, to do what you did. I mean, you have the fiance was a responsibility. You have the responsibility of obviously the credit repair business, the full time nine to five that you're running, and alongside that, being in a position where you still want to be a human being. Like sometimes
yeah,
you're not trying to go and just feel like your life is a to do list. You don't want to feel like you're in a position where all you're doing is slaving away, and all you're doing is working. Because the whole point of buying a property is to buy your time back and not be in a
yeah.
position where you're slaving away from that. And then obviously it's something where it's not an easy decision, right? But if someone was on the fence, right? Because we typically don't like to work with people that are on the fence because it's either you want to do it or you don't. But if someone was on the fence, like what would you tell them about investing in the Section 8 or just reaching out to us to see if it even makes sense? And what would potentially even get them over that fence, or something that you would tell the past version of yourself in regards to going and actually getting things done?
Uh, Actually, for me, if I would have met you like a couple months sooner, then I would have probably, who knows, I would have probably had like one or three more houses, like a couple, even just a couple months. I think I mean, everything's done for a purpose, but even just a couple months back, like I would have gone so much farther. But obviously, we didn't meet that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say like get on it right away. And if like, well, I came across your Instagram and I was like looking at your Instagram and I was seeing like, oh, this guy went to Bora Bora, and I started looking at kind of not the lifestyle you were living, but I don't get phased by like the lifestyle. I was like, oh, let me look, like, let me check the numbers, like if it's even gonna make sense, like because it can make sense for him, but not for me. But
Exactly.
then just getting into the program and then you teaching me and me learning, that's when I'm like, oh, it's like there's a big potential here. But
And
a
do
lot
you
of
think?
people on the verge of being in there, they should just all they're gonna do is end up learning. Like they're not gonna leave empty handed.
And do you think that was the biggest needle driver for you, was realizing like, hey, like this person's from this like a similar upbringing to me. Like, why can I not do it? It's just a matter
Yeah,
of, like, you see someone that walks, talks, and looks like you, that's doing
yeah,
what the hell do you want to do? Because I mean, everyone talks about they want to break into real estate, but I mean, like, what does that mean
yeah,
to most people? And I know that you had talked about obviously meeting, meeting each other later and all the above. But do you ever feel like not only would you have more properties if you started sooner, but do you ever feel like there was a moment where you thought to yourself, "Hey, look, if I do not pull the trigger on this, I'm never gonna do it." Because if you just keep postponing it, postponing it, postponing it, there's never gonna be a time where I actually say go and get it done. Because everyone says, "Oh, I'll buy next year. Oh, I'll buy when the rates drop." Was there ever a moment where you said, "I just need to do it now. Right, let's do it."
yeah. Well, yeah, it's because I always was taught like I wasn't financially smart. Like my family doesn't come from, or every Mexican doesn't come from
Yeah,
financially smart people. Like we don't know how money works. We don't know how banks work. We don't know nothing.
money under the
So
mattress, all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
all I was taught was just to save money. So I've been saving. I've been working since I was 16 years old. So all I was doing was saving, 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 and then until I was like 22, and I'm like, I'm saving and saving, but nothing's like growing. Nothing's like growing. Obviously, it's growing, but not growing at the rate that I would want it to. And that's when I'm like, the the time is now. Like I've been saving for a while. I need to figure out something, and like obviously at first you're scared because you're putting money away, but it's time to do it.
you understood it was an asset, and you said, "Hey, like I'm not trying to have my money under the mattress forever." I mean, that is true though. With La Raza and us coming up, it's always save, 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 but it's never the last part. What's after the save? It's like save, save,
Yeah,
save for not necessarily for what, because it's kind of like a bold
yeah,
way to be, but in reality, like what's the next thing to do? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And no, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't have another question I want to ask, but if you are in a position, right, well, now that you have multiple properties, I mean, you have a property and you're trying to work towards buying multiple properties. Do you feel like this is something that, if you were the pirate version yourself, do you feel like you could have done this all by yourself?
Mm, it would have taken way longer, but obviously everything's possible. But it would have taken way longer. Like let's say I close in a home like in 3 months of meeting you, and it was just because of my circumstances. It wasn't because of how long the process takes. Like 'cause people could get in a home like in a month probably if
Yeah, in a
they
month.
really dedicate, if they were like fully ready. But like at that time, I told you I delayed you for a bit, but it would have from 3 months it would have turned into like a year of me learning and doing it on my own, and then failing and not knowing like the next step, and then having to recover from that failure, and then it's just on.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like obviously you have the work ethic to go and to get it done. You obviously have the eagerness to go and push forward, but this is the timing aspect, right? You don't know what you don't know. But now you're in
yeah,
a position where you have the access to the resources and all the intellectual knowledge. So I mean, you could go and run it again, replicate it again in due time with the Bakersfield property. And then I won't ask any more questions, but if there's any last words you could give to someone that's watching this, like I said, maybe on the fence, or maybe just any last thoughts you want to tell people in regards to our program, myself, Alexis, people that we work with, just to give them a little bit of that extra push, like what would that be? Or if you don't have anything, that's perfectly fine. But I just want to throw that out there to see if maybe there's any other thoughts that I didn't touch upon with the questions that I was asking.
I would just say that it doesn't hurt you to text Xavier and tell him your circumstance and see what he can do, and it doesn't hurt at all. Like it just, we started off as like text messages. I just texted you like, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this," and that's when you put the blueprint. Like he's not gonna bite you. He's not gonna tell you nothing. The worst he will lose is just he will just answer you with the truth.
Yeah, and,
But that's
and
about it.
you, I mean,
Yeah,
like I never sugarcoat any of that shit. Like a lot of
yeah,
the things that you were like, "Oh, what about X, Y, Z?" I was like, "That's just not gonna happen," or "That's not true," or "That is true," or why are you worried about that? Don't waste time. Like, just do it.
yeah.
But that makes sense though. And I appreciate you saying that because a lot of individuals that reach out to me will end up telling me, "Hey, I was thinking about reaching out to you 4 months ago," and I was like, "4 months ago? Like, do you think you would be farther ahead than where you are right now if you'd reached out to me 4 months ago?" And when I say it like that, they think, "Oh, damn, what the hell was I doing?" They wasted 4 months, which I mean, if you think about your whole lifetime, it's not a very long time, but you think about a short term, that is a very long time, bro. Look at where you
Yeah,
were 4 months ago compared to now.
yeah.
On all regards, the business, properties, personal, everything. But where can people find you on Instagram? I don't know if you have TikTok. I don't know if you post on there, but
Oh yeah, I have Instagram.
for the credit repair, maybe they want to hit you up in regards to business funding, or they want to just get more experience from you, in your real estate journey. One to one texting you. Like where would they reach out to you, plus?
You can reach out to me to Instagram. I'll make your editor edit that
You can
on the
put that
video.
in. And
Yeah, I
I'll
don't have
probably put
no
your
by heart.
Instagram in the bio. So you say Instagram is the best way to contact?
Yeah, I would say Instagram or text message, phone number, whatever.
All right, bet. So
And
I'll put your Instagram in the bio. I'm gonna wrap this up. If anybody wants to hit up Angel in regards to anything with credit, he's helped people in our program. He's helped myself. He's also been in a position where he's able to help multiple other people that are in the real estate industry, whether it's realtors, lenders, clients of theirs. So if you want to reach out to him, his Instagram will be in the bio. And then from there, you can either get his number, work forward, all this stuff. But I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna wrap this up. And anybody that's on the fence, you heard it from him. You didn't hear it from me. But if it's something that you're of interest, let's get to it.